Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are reviewing the newest issue of The Walking Dead. And that is not this issue, obviously. This is a reissue with R.I.P. Rick Grimes. This is just a, this is the last issue. Just a new version of it. So, but we are here to check out this bad boy. And this, The Walking Dead, The Farmhouse, issue 193. And this is, it's a thick issue. It's the very last issue of The Walking Dead. Here's a normal issue of The Walking Dead. Here's the last issue. It's literally almost a trade paperback in itself. And it does tell a very good story. The very last story of this is a standalone story on its own. If you've never even read The Walking Dead, you could probably pick this up and read it and, you know, have an okay understanding. But it starts off, yeah, with, you know, we've got the farmhouse, a zombie, which we think is pretty normal. The sad thing is, with this is the last we're going to see of Charlie Adler's artwork until he does whatever projects he's moving on to. And his artwork is still badass. Michonne sword. And then there we go. Old Man Carl. Look at him. Old Man Carl with Michonne sword killing the zombie. And the story is so good because, you know, Carl, Sophia. So Carl winds up with Sophia, which is awesome. I'm glad that Carl wound up with Sophia. You know, and she's shocked. She's like, it's a zombie. You know, how can there be zombies here? You know, Andrea didn't see it. That's their daughter. They got a daughter. So Carl and Sophia are married and have a daughter. And this, Carl Grimes actually gets in trouble for killing the zombie. He goes to town to see The Walking Dead. And it's Glenn and Maggie's kid, Herschel. You know, and he's carrying around these zombies. And he's happy to see him. Hey, how's it going? It's nice to see you, Carl Grimes. Carl, looking a lot like Rick. He looks like a total Rick between Carl and Rick. I like that. Punches him. Whap! He's like, what the hell? Zombies, man. He's like, yeah, zombies are cool. I'm too stupid to know any better. Anyway, yeah. Back to the review. This is it's an independent story all on its own. Basically, Carl goes on trial. He's in a relationship with Sophia, which is awesome. They've got a kid together named Andrea. And he winds up going on trial. He kills all of Herschel Reese's Maggie's kids. Maggie's the president, which we see here. Maggie's the president of the Commonwealth. And Maggie's not a very friendly. When we get to this little standoff issue, she's kind of a bitch, she's kind of always been a bitch, but you know, there's old haggard Maggie Ree, you know, defending her kid. This is a good goodbye issue. This was a good meeting between Sophia and Maggie. Being like, you never stood up for your kid, you know, you just let your kid do whatever you wanted. And she's like, I was trying to protect him from that horrible past that you had. And she's basically like, well, fuck you, at least my past made me who I am. Your kid's a douchebag. Let's see, and then we move on to... Now we're still pretty early on. Yeah, Carl Grimes slaughters all of Herschel's walkers, and then he goes on trial. Lydia shows up. That's Lydia who Carl lost his virginity to. They have a few scenes together. They visit Negan's house. This is kind of important. Lucille. And they visit Negan, but he doesn't answer. Which really sucks. Because we didn't get... That's literally the end of Negan. And then, he sleeps next to Lydia. He doesn't cheat on Sophia with her. But it's hinted that, he could have if he wanted to. He has to explain why he wears this mask. Then he gets to Eugene. We get to the connecting the west to the east, and look at this sprawl out, this spread. Pioneer Days. And Eugene's headlining it all. There's old Eugene. And this is a great story. Yeah, it ties together really well. Carl goes on trial. I'm trying to get to the point where he goes on trial. Michonne is the judge, Judge Michonne, because she was a lawyer before The Walking Dead. She becomes the judge, and she pretty much lets Carl Grimes go. They have a big old speech about zombies and where they've gone and what Rick died for. My dad didn't die, so kids could watch people play with zombies, and Michonne's just like, yeah, we were both there, kid. Yeah, I'm not. You're fine. And then we get to the statue of Rick Grimes, which is a silhouette of issue 191. And this is a pretty interesting scene. The man who made the world. And Carl looks back. He likes it. Back to the farmhouse. And this is the end of The Walking Dead. And I'm glad Carl and Sophia are together. That's awesome to see. If you've read this since the prison days with little girl Sophia and little boy Carl holding hands looking at that fence of zombies. And then, that was 2004, 2005, and here we are 2019. They've both been through what they've been through. They've got each other. That's a good end for The Walking Dead. Carl and Sophia wind up together. They have a kid. Daddy, Daddy, read me a story. And the story that he reads, we're going to share that as a final thought because I liked it. It was really good. Do not fear, dear reader, for this may seem like a scary book at first, and your mommy or daddy may even read it in a scary voice. Shame on them. But this is not a scary story. This is a story about hope. One day, a long time ago, dead people decided they didn't want to be dead anymore. Nobody knows why, and don't be embarrassed. It scared everyone. Everyone was tested. That's why they came to call it the trials. You've probably heard your parents talk about it. It was a scary time, and many good, strong people lost themselves along the way. They started to forget who they were. They even started to forget what was good and bad. They only worried about living. There was no follow to the rules. Almost nobody brushed their teeth or went to sleep at their bedtime. A great darkness fell across the whole world. It made everyone sad. People don't know if things would ever get back to normal. Most people were sure it would, and they got sadder and meaner. When things were at their darkest, a man came along, someone who had been hurt by the trials, but he didn't let it make him sad. Now all the times at least, okay, it's to be sometimes sad. Rick Grimes had an idea. He knew that if we stayed together and made friends instead of enemies, we could do anything. Even remake the world. He made friends and lost friends. As he moved across the country, he met people he thought would be friends, but they turned out to be bad. He sometimes had to hurt the bad people to protect his friends, but he never did. And he taught other people how not to let the trials turn them into bad people. He even met bad people and turned them into friends. Rick traveled far and wide, always bringing his family with him, and they made him stronger. They made him safe, and they taught people how to make friends and use them to make them stronger and safer. The trials made some people so angry that some of them just wanted to fight, but Rick knew this was wrong. He showed them how to be friends instead. The trials were dangerous. Times even Rick didn't survive them. But he was able to show us the way. With his teachings, the trials ended and life returned to normal. We even had an ice cream again. People are happy instead of sad, and safe instead of scared, and nice instead of mean, all because someone was strong enough to do what was right. Whatever you are, wherever you're doing, you're there, and you're there because of Rick Grimes. You would have really liked him. Who? Your grandfather. He did all those things, my grandfather. Rick Grimes. This book is about him. I know, Dad. You tell me that every time. Read it again! And Carl's reading to his kid. On the last page,